Good evening, everybody. In
Hi.
tonight's live Lightroom short, we're going to spend about 30 minutes looking at common syncing problems with Lightroom and Lightroom Classic and little things that we can do to help the workflow, because Classic was not originally designed to work in the cloud. And I apologize, Adobe, for my words. It's been cobbled together so it does offer that functionality, but it was not originally designed to work in the cloud, because the cloud in 2007 didn't really exist. So that's the problem. So a lot of the architecture was not designed within Classic. So let's have a look at a few things first. So let's share screen. And we'll swap across devices today, so I can show you from lots of different ways of how to solve any problems or stop the problems happening in the first place. So let's go to some preferences first. Let's set it up correctly. So, or in my opinion, the way to set it up. So if we go into Lightroom Classic, File under PC, and go to Preferences, and it's the fifth one across, called Lightroom Sync. This is where you can delete your images if you wish. I've got nothing in here at the moment. It's 0 images. But what we want to come down to is this location bit here. So the second and third tick boxes. This is the location where the cloud files, so the images from your phone, from your iPad, from a laptop that you are in the field, and you are going to sync into the cloud. So you could use a web browser. So for a better example, you could be in a hotel using a web browser, and you plug your camera or put your SD card in and you upload them to your cloud drive. This is where they're going to come down to within Lightroom Classic. Okay, perhaps like my workflow is I will use a laptop with Lightroom on it, which will look like this. This is Lightroom. This is the desktop client, and the images that are in the cloud side of it. So I'm on a second device. I'm just showing this for illustration. Those images will appear in this directory. Okay. So you can click choose and wherever you're going to put it. The next tick box is how you'd like them to appear within the location. So I like common denominators, and one common denominator that we cannot replicate is date and time, unless we're Jules Verne and we've got a time machine. So I put my images into folders, the actual files itself, into a date and time structure. And this is replicated from my importing in Classic, but is also exactly the same formula to when I shoot remotely. So with my laptop, with my iPad, with my phone, it preserves the same date and time structure. Okay, or date and folder structure, sorry. So this is where you set this up. Okay, so it's personal choice how you do it. My advice is, if it's you want to put it on a location that you can't unplug the drive. The reason why I say that is, if it's on a remote, a 1 terabyte laptop drive or something like that, as in a USB type drive or a dongle, and it isn't plugged in when you turn Lightroom Classic on, it will reset this to the default place, the default location. Okay, So that is well worth putting on your C drive, or if you're in my situation, I'm on a Mac Mini, it's in the drive in the Mac Mini. So that drive is always connected, so it never changes. So that's the first thing we need to do. This is the location where images from the cloud come to. Now, there's another way we can get to that. So I went to Lightroom Classic and Preferences. We can do exactly the same, top right-hand corner, click on the cloud. This is the cloud storage status. So I'm using currently 55.9 megabytes at 20 gigabytes. I'm currently totally synced. There's a pause button. Now, sometimes your syncing won't start for whatever reason. If you just pause it for a few seconds, hit it again, that is normally good enough to get syncing working again, 9 times out of 10. We can go back to that menu that I showed you earlier, preferences, by hitting on the cog. So I go cloud, click on the cog, and it will take me straight through to Lightroom syncing. Okay, you can see I've got no activity and no downloads and no pendings. There's nothing happening. And this box, in a minute, I'm going to take a picture with my phone and I'm going to sync it. And we'll come onto the phone in a second. Let's just move that out of the way. I'm just going to take a picture of my phone, open it in line. Well, it's a bit dark, but there we go, it doesn't matter. Let's do another one, make it a bit brighter. There we go. There we go. Okay. So these are now going to leave my device. And once they've synced to the cloud, which is what they are doing, it says 2 pending. And there we go, they're syncing.
What are you actually looking at now, Mark? Your
I'm
phone?
just on my phone. I've just taken a couple of pictures and I'm asking it to sync. There we go, one done. And the reason why I'm asking it, there we go. It's the first time I've actually synced on this account. In a second, we will see some blue lines. We'll see some activity happening. And this is important. I wanted to show you this. There we go. So if I can click on there, click on there. In a second, you see one, it's uploading. And in a second, I expand, there we go. See, can you see this blue line? Yeah, this is the location of what's happening. This blue line here. It says asset and path. And then it says status. I'm trying not to hover over it. Right, it says status, okay? Sometimes this will say error. Can you see what it says metadata where my mouse is at the moment on the right-hand side? It will say error. Okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
And if it's an error, you click on that line and you can see the image that's an error. So if I take the picture again, just taking another photograph, going to wait for it to upload. And we'll see this blue line here. And if there's a syncing error, there you go, there it's come down. Look, it says downloading, download. It's giving me the URL. And if I click on the URL, it'll open a web browser. It'll open on a web browser. And it will show me the image that it's downloading. So it's going to the location. There's the image it's downloading. Okay? And sometimes you'll see at the end here, it says error. And what you need to do is click on this blue line in the middle and delete the image that is causing an error. Okay? And the reason why you want to do that is it's blocking the rest of the transmission or downloading or uploading. It's stopped for some reason. Okay? And there we go. It's now finished. My phone is synced to Classic. And I can go to this location here. If I go to the location, there it is. There are my 3 images that have come in. And these are files. Okay, so there's my date and there's my time. Sorry, it's my year and my date. Okay, there's the images that I've taken on my phone. And these are files. That is important. Anything from the cloud is a file and it counts towards your storage. Anything you send in a collection to your phone is a smart preview. It does not count towards your storage. Okay? Everyone okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just going to come out of this screen. Now, I'm going to go to my phone and I'm going to show you some settings, some important settings, and then we're going to look at how to solve them. So let's bring it up here. Let's go here. Share my screen. So sharing. Okay. Right. So we're now, this is Lightroom. Okay. These are the three images I just took. And if we go to the top corner, the three dots, and come down to the bottom, app settings, and then I go to cloud storage and sync. The bottom, prevent from sleeping, that really needs to be turned on. Okay, so the app will, while it's sending to the cloud, will not go to sleep. However, we need to, on the device, especially if you've got a lot of photographs, this is on an iPhone, it will be the same type of thing on an Android, is we go to our brightness in my case, and we turn auto lock off. Okay, just for the syncing period, because what will happen is the device will shut down and the app will stop, and it'll be halfway through transmitting the image. Okay, and that's where the bugs start to happen. Okay, because it's halfway through uploading and you've hanged up the call. It's not uploading. So it's, you're sending, you've half filled the jug, or the picture hasn't gone up yet. And Classic is sitting there saying, where is it? I want it, give it to me. But you haven't uploaded it. So a lot of the problems are you've half uploaded a photograph. Either you've shut the phone off, or it's gone on to sleep, and it could be your iPad, it could be your laptop, and it hasn't transmitted all the data yet. So as John was saying, he had 52 images still transmitting the other day. That's one of the big problems. We shut down the applications before they finish transmitting. So it's like, in telephone days, you're halfway through a phone call and you hang up. You haven't finished the conversation. That's exactly what you're doing when you don't allow the images to upload. Now, some people don't have a lot of data on their mobile phones, which is fine. You don't have to sync it on your phone. You can wait till you get home and use your Wi-Fi. But just don't let your device go to sleep. From best practice, that's what I found solves the syncing problems. Do not let it go to sleep. Okay.
Waking it up again doesn't start it up again.
It does, but experience has said to me, just let it sync. It only takes a few minutes, couple of minutes. It depends on your upload speed, etc. And do it regularly. Now, I'm fortunate. I've got 250 gig on my phone that I can upload and download. So it's a massive amount of data. So when I take a picture, I just let it sync. And it takes 20 seconds. So when I turn Classic on, they download. They're already in the cloud. So rather than taking a load of photographs in on the day and waiting till I get home, and then it's got 60 images to upload or whatever it is, which might take 15 minutes. That's when you'll get the problems of it's not syncing. You get those blue lines of errors. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Whether that's the right way to do it, I'm telling you what my experiences are. I got loads of pictures in the cloud and so on. And from experience, I found that I just turn off the auto lock, make sure the app doesn't go to sleep, and just let it sync. And if you've got 4 images, well, it's only going to be about 2 or 3 minutes, and you allow them to sync. Okay.
Okay.
And
On my,
sorry, David.
Yeah, I'm looking at my phone with auto lock.
Yeah.
And when I click it on, it's just got times on it: 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, and then never at the bottom.
Yeah. So you use the never.
Right.
Just use the never.
Okay.
And it won't lock. Now, if you've got, let's say you've gone on holiday on your cruise and you haven't synced your phone at all, I would plug it into the mains, leave it on your desk, and just let it run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just let it run. And if it takes 2 hours because you've got a slow upload speed, let it just do that. And that's why you plug it in the mains.
Yeah.
Just let it do the job. Just leave it alone and let it do the job. Yeah. So what happens if you do get a problem? Let me show you. So I showed you, let's do this again. Okay. I'm just taking another photograph. So we get this blue line. Wait for it. The image is syncing from my phone. And this is the same on an iPad, any other type. It might look slightly different, but because of the size of screen, all those type of things and so on. But for all intensive purposes, all the same. So, and the things that make the speed difference is how busy Adobe is, what's your upload speed like, and so on, etc. So let's see if this is starting to come in. It's just synced now up to the cloud. Now, when you get your blue line here, there we go. You click on it and it goes to the location. Now, this is in the cloud, okay? So there's the image in the cloud, and it might come up with a picture of a cog. All you need to do is delete the file, okay? That's all you need to do. So just press delete. Then there's the file. That's the first time I've done this here. So there's the file, and I can delete it if I so wish, okay? So, oops, what's new? No, I don't need to know what's new. So I can click on the box and just delete the file. And there's several different ways that you can do it. But just delete the file, and that will solve the syncing problem, okay? Now, sometimes you need to, well, if it's local, that blue line, if it's local, as it's in Classic, it will take you to the picture in Classic. Okay. So let's just see if I can force it to do that. So let's just turn that one to, let's do that one because it's going to, so if I make that auto, there we go. So now that should now, so now it says uploading. Okay. So if I now click on this now, it's already got it highlighted. So let's click on that one. All right. And let's actually go to another location. Let's go there. Click there. Now, if I click there, it's taking me direct to the image. Okay, the image that I'm working on. So this is the path, as it says, path link, the asset path link. This takes you to where it is. So if there's an error, you can go and see where the error is and delete the image because it's corrupted somewhere. So what happens if you need to sync your database? And that's the database of your synced images. Well, you can reset it. So I'm just going to let this finish syncing. See top right hand corner here, it's finished syncing. Okay, It says it's still syncing. While it's doing that, I can show you something else. So if we, oh, there we go. We hover over an image. Can you see it says DNG? I don't know if you can see that, but you can see underneath it's got a little squiggle. Can you see that at all? Yeah.
Yeah.
That image is synced to the cloud. So that little icon there is telling you that image is in the cloud. What else you can do is you can go to your catalog and you can click here, which is a permanent smart collection in the catalog, and it tells you how many images you've got. If you click on it, that are in the cloud, and it will take you to those images. So it'll build a smart collection for you automatically. If you click on there, and it'll show you all the images that are synced to the cloud. Okay, so that's now finished syncing. What happens if I want to, oh, there's a bug, there's an error, and I want to, first thing I want to do is I want to clean my database. I want to refresh it. So I hold the Option Alt key down, so modifier key down the bottom left-hand corner, and you get this rebuild sync data. So you hit that, it will say, do you want to rebuild it? In this case, yes, continue. It'll only take a few seconds because there's only a couple of images, and it refreshes the database, the sync database, not the catalog. It loads back up, and you just start syncing again, and it will check everything. It will check everything that's local, everything in the cloud, and it's all married up. So this is what it's doing now. If you follow that best practice or the workflow that I've suggested to you now, I very, very rarely do I get any bugs. Okay? Very, very rarely. The only time I will get a bug is when I've rushed an upload. So I've underestimated the time it's taking me to upload, and I've got to go. So, for example, I'm in a hotel and I've got to check out at 12 o'clock and I'm loading loads of pictures up, and I haven't yet finished syncing them. So in that case, what I will do is when it syncs, I will pause it. And what it will then do is it will finish syncing an image and pause. So it pauses before, it won't start a new image. Okay? And then when I get back to Wi-Fi, I'll press the sync button and it will start syncing again. So I'll upload the last or the image that it's currently on, and it will wait. Two more things. 5 seconds. So currently, these are the 4 images in the cloud. You can see the icon, and they are taking up storage. So what you need to do is move them out of this location. This location, cloud 2024, and this date, this location is this location here. Okay, there it is there in Lightroom. Okay, I need to take these images out of the cloud. And how I do this is I drag the folder out of that drive, that folder, that cloud folder. So they're no longer there. And that is the equivalent. So they're now here now, you see. So I've moved them from that place and put them into this place, which is in a different structure. It's in images rather than in cloud. Okay. So I've dragged them out of here and I've put them on here. And that's the equivalent of copying them from your SD card to your computer. But when we import from our SD card or from our camera, they're still on the card, aren't they? So what we need to do is we need to go back to Lightroom. When it hurries up. Where isn't it? There we go. There we go. And we need to delete them in the cloud. So this is physically the cloud. Okay. And because, so I'm going to delete them now. You get 60 days to bring them back. If I'm going to delete it, there's all my deleted images in the cloud. They're in the recycle bin. I've got 60 days. I can bring them back. But because I moved them first, I moved them from this location to this location, they will start to sync in a second, and this little squiggle will disappear. Okay? Because I've deleted them in the cloud, and this one's already done it. See, there's no little squiggle here anymore. Right? I've taken it out of the cloud and I've deleted it in the cloud. You can delete it either on a desktop client. This is the recycle bin. So if I go back here, no images in the cloud. I can delete it on a web browser, or I can delete it on my phone. It's all the same place. But you must move them out of your cloud folder and put them somewhere else first. If I'd have deleted them here, they will delete in the cloud, because this location is the cloud. It's the local copy of the cloud. If I delete them here, they will delete in the cloud. So I need to move them out of there first and then delete them in the cloud. And I can do it on a web browser. You know, I could go to a web browser. This is syncing, 0 images. Okay. So if I just, there we go, 0 images. It's all synced. I can delete them on a web browser. Okay. So that's best practices. I've been using, it was Lightroom Web, Lightroom CC, Lightroom Mobile, Lightroom Cloud. It's all the same thing. It's called Lightroom now. What I've just told you is my workflow. And there are probably other workflows out there, but that's the one that I found is the most I think the right words. It doesn't trip over so much, because Classic was not designed for the cloud. Okay.
So how do you put them back into your albums in Lightroom?
Okay, so now I would just do a normal make a collection. So if I wanted these images back in the cloud, okay, but I want them as smart previews, so they're not storage, I would just go, let's create a collection. So I go select, I'm going to select all the images, I create a collection, and today's date. I'm going to sync it to the cloud. I'm going to include the selected photos, press create, and in a few seconds, this will start syncing to the cloud. So just wait for it to sync to the cloud, and they will then appear in here. So we'll get a album down here in a minute. The album will appear first, and then the images will appear. Okay. So we'll just wait for that. Any other questions about that? There we go, they're syncing now.
If you've got Lightroom on your mobile device and you've got it on an iPad, is it best to get the images to upload on the iPad in Lightroom before you start syncing them into Classic, or doesn't it matter what order you do it in? Or
so what device is the images coming from? Have you taken them with the camera on the iPad, or are you importing them from your camera to your iPad?
Could be either.
Okay, there's no hard and fast rule. From experience, I do one device at one time.
Right, okay.
So I'll take them on my phone, I'll allow them to sync, I'll get the green tick box, they've synced. Then I'll get my iPad, because it's a two-way process as well. So Classic is going up and down, Lightroom's going up and down. So I just let one device do it at one time.
Right.
Okay, so if I go to, hopefully this will answer your question, David. So there it is. These are now back in the cloud, but these are smart previews because I've sent them from Classic to the cloud. So these do not count towards my storage. Okay, and that's how you can get all your images in the cloud using the Doom as smart previews. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So one last thing. You can send from Lightroom to Classic. So from your phone, from your iPad, from your camera connected to your iPad, you can send video. So if you take a video on your phone, you can import it into Lightroom. It'll go to the cloud and it'll come down to Classic. You cannot sync a video from Classic to the cloud. So if you had a video that you took on your camera, you imported it with the cable, you can't take it from Classic to the cloud. So the workaround is, let's go and see if I can find a video. Attributes, video. Doesn't look like I've got any videos in here. So you go and find the file. So you'd go right click, find in Finder, and then you go, this isn't a video because I haven't got any videos in this catalog. And then you then add the image from here, or the video. So you go add photo, and you go and find the photo. So you then, let's say, drag that to there. There it is. I'll get rid of the Finder now. And then I would upload it from here. So this is Lightroom. Okay, so you would add the image or the video from your Finder. Okay, and that's how you can get the video into Lightroom from your local machine. Okay, because again, Classic was not designed for video. It was Premiere at those times. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and there you go. That's the principle of syncing, the little nuances that I found, the little bugs and how to get rid of them. Okay. Any questions about that?
No.
Mm?
Very useful.
Yeah. It becomes second nature when you regularly do it. So, but I appreciate that data can be expensive, so you want to wait till you get home and do it on your Wi-Fi and things like that and so on. And I appreciate, I'm very fortunate, I have a 180 meg upload speed or whatever it is here. So, you know, it takes nanoseconds for me to upload stuff, etc. But yeah, that's the workflow that I use, that I've tested myself over the years, modified, twisted, massaged it, whatever you want to call it, because you have to be flexible, because Classic was not designed for syncing to the cloud. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, lovely to see you all. Friday, we're going to look at the basic panel in the next Lightroom short, and we're going to look at all the modifying keys within the basic panel. There's lots of little double clicks and extra buttons and clicks and so on. Little tricks and tips that may speed up your workflow or give you new functionality. Okay.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Take care,
Thank you very
everybody.
much.
See you
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye. Good night.